Oh, I'm live. Okay. Hello, everyone. Today we have a history lesson. And the history lesson is, well, there's some sad news. Now, my brother, my father knows where this particular building is. It's the old yellow cab slash bus garage, the big yellow garage that's across the new library. They just took half of it down. They took the metal, it's a big metal building, and they began to take it apart finally. And I visited and I found a bunch of stubbies. Now, what is a stubby, you ask? Well, this is what a stubby looks like. It's a type of beer bottle was famous in 1970s that the if it was Bob and Doug McKenzie, you know more about this. But this particular beer, the best one with the label on, is the Old Blue. Now, I don't remember the Old Blue. What I do remember is the famous Labatt Blue. And here, call, call for Labatt Blue. It's a very popular, and recently I got some bottle tops with it. Here's the official Labatt Blue one. But I'm not talking about it. I'm going to talk about what the title means today. The title is back in the old days, in the 70s and so forth, Red Bad Blues came with these. A set of a smiley face and a bunch of a saying. Here, smile, someone, I think it's watching. And it's kind of a knock up into the 60s because they have, the visual smile and so forth. And finding these bottles these days are very hard to find, but there was a bunch of them, about a dozen of these. They used to be um, 5 cents, then they raised this to 10 cents, and now I don't think they take these things in anymore. But this the old label, there are a couple of them. The reason why they call them stubbies, because you basically can't grab them in a bar fight. These ones are made from really, really thick glass. Now, in the old days, it's not uncommon to find some of these with two to the most I found one with 18 labels on it. And also, I found another one. I couldn't bury this one. Remember Uncle something? But I feel really old one. I think I got the. Not sure how it goes anymore. But these are the original bottle tops from the 70s. The ones I grew up with. Oops. Oops. I gotta get my magnifying glass and I will tell you more information about this. Now, come on, give me more cable. You. Now, I found some other ones. Really watched it one, but also I found I think it's one of the early Coke bottle tops. I've seen it on Gilbert Jensen today, but if I take my thing off, and oh, label, this one, the label, not the cap, have the prize number. When you take the labels off of the Coke, and I forgot when that was, 98, I believe. But it's a clear top on top. So I think it took a break from the simple point ones to this. There's a few of them, these floating around, but you have to look behind the label of the pop to get the number to go online. Now, as you notice, in these bottle tops here are very old and a whole different way of making them. You notice, and these of the 80s, they call it tint bit. Now, I found one that the bottle top is rusted to a point that I'm just breaking off the bottle top. So for no words, I was hoping, seeing these bottle tops, I was hoping for finding a pop bottle one, but this one I could get the label off. Oh, wait a second. I may be lucky today. You're so old you could cue these sometimes. Oh, so rusted. I have to clean this. The bottle top have to be this rusted before you take beer liner off. I'm not sure, but I have to clean that one. But this is I think this is a new one from the 80s. This one here, it's less dirty, and they was on these too. They stopped these around 89 or something, and they thought, but people are able to take it break, but also when you break these, you got very short, these long ones we have, it becomes a rapid, and now the beer bottles are actually lighter glass than these. These are thick. I call these virgin glass because these ones being refilled a whole bunch and disappear. Now, I have to go get another one, find another one because the age, because this is a tinfoil label on paper. This is all likely tinfoil. Other than this, this is old paper. I'm able to save almost one label. This is what the label looks like. Glued on by machine when they go through a bottle, a bottling plant. Now, if any Canadians know, who's a bit older than me, know what old blue is, I think this one is from BC. Ugh. Pomegranate. And got it on my glasses. I have time. I have time today. The golden ink is just so faded away here. I would tell you 10 minutes. I gotta look at the bottle. 12 fluid ounces, and made by Uncle Ben's. Oh yeah, Vancouver. Uncle Ben's. I think I've seen this in a bottle. The Uncle Ben company. There's a history behind that one, and it's from Vancouver, but it has still across Canada, and they went until in the 70s, and the bowler name is Babe, and it's a third place ribbon. I should know it kind of because Uncle Ben loved using patterns on his cans, and this company almost made a railway up to the Yukon, but they quit. They ran out bankrupt, so I heard and the guy who behind it went bankrupt by building this railway up to the Yukon. And ever since then, the parts of the railroad stay there, but it's all grown in. And the last time I've seen parts of it, the last time I went down, what's that road? And it's I just say it's a very rare find because I think the old blues, I think memory coming back is Uncle Ben's Pet Bull. And the way I remember the old Uncle Ben, it was tasting good. It's one of the few beers I actually drank when I was a kid once. I look in the old-fashioned can. I mean, the type. And you know, these are not screw tops. These are the ones you use the old-fashioned can opener. But the younger generation that everybody, that's why all of these are basically have this particular dent while we open it like so. Only really tough guys able to open it up. But finding this particular old beers, it's hard to bring in some memory because Old Blue wasn't really popular here in the Yukon. And finding it in one of the old buildings that, and I don't remember ever seeing these bottles. It got to be trapped in the fiberglass because the last time I was in there was had a big bike sale. The police, all the stolen bikes, they fixed it up and sold it. And I didn't recall seeing one single beer bottle. Every time I walked by, when they had the big doors open. So they got to be really hidden for the workmen to find these out. And I don't know if they took one or two of these home, but this is the most perfect label on. And I'm not going to attempt to soaking old labels because this one was kind of like hanging like this on the bottle. And so I peel the glass, and that's why. But I am gonna scan this and trying to figure out how I'm gonna put it in my strip, because I showed it to one of my friends on the today, and she don't remember. She got an antique store out in the road, and she doesn't remember. And she's, I think, about my age, a little younger, and she don't remember growing up. A lot of kids from the service probably really don't remember, because it's disappear. I have to say around 76, 77, 78. And finding these, they also make Lucky Beer, in the United States, Lucky Beer. They make that too. That was a good deal. Hi, Lewis. Lewis, do you remember Old Blue? It's a Canadian beer. I don't know the Uncle Ben Brewing Company ever export these to the United States. And because of that, I'm not really sure. Because it's just maybe now I got the correct information. Now I could go online and find more history behind this. I think it'll last about 25 years or something like that. I am not really sure. And yeah. But these smart watches here with big thing, people used to make these into pins. The big 1970s fad is finding these, kids finding them, and they get a ball top that use it and pin it so they're short, and wear them. I'm finding one this where it's observed. It's a good collector item just to have around and tell this is what on that blues back in the 70s. And there, I think there's 10 set or 6. I'm not really sure. It's been a long time. But before Walmart took over the Happy Face and turned into the yellow Happy Face, that had their own version of them on the bottom top of the Happy Face with a smile on it. So when you drink like that and you get so drunk, you begin to smile. And I know it's just like the creepy smile, someone watching you. Of course someone's watching you back then. And it's, you don't know that too, huh? So it never did make it into the United States. It's a Canadian brewery. But you remember, this is what your friend missed. You know, your friend, the guy with the plaid jacket. I was thinking him with one of these chubby ones, Liz. Kind of remind me of Bob and Doug McKenzie. Now, if you watch Bob and Doug McKenzie, they got a lot of these old brands in the old stores. And that's, you know, ever since they phased out, the odd one I find, you know, and this is kind of, you know, I wasn't planning to do a live video, but when I found these old ones, I'm not sure they take these in anymore. They used to be 10 cents, and before 1976, a nickel. And I picked these up just because of the labels. There was a few with half pure labels and so forth, but I didn't pick them up because I'm not really sure they take them in anymore, because they are so hard to find. You have to be like 50 miles in the bush, finding an old garbage dump from the 70s to find these now. Last time we took a whole big batch of them was end of 1992 or something. That's the last time they talked these in. Since I collect old bottles too, this one's going to be up on my shelf. Yeah, and this one, cover them, you know. And I made about $6 in my recycling. But days like this, when you find something you used to collect, and the case of these are very, I always able to carry 2 of the case. I was 17 years old. And these are things are heavy. Thank God we got lighter stuff. The taste bottles are light, beer bottles are lighter than this. This thick glass. This is meant to be dropped. And it is flavorful. What they do, we return them, they fill them up, and so forth, like they stay due today. But in the center, there's Labatt, and then there's Labatt 50. If I ever got the whole of that label, I will show you and tell you a little history about that. But also, the Motion Beer Company logo was on these thing too, and they are hard, finding these old stubbies from the 70s with the label on is very, very, very hard to find. And at the same, the old yellow bus station, to keep the buses, the yellow cab back in the 70s, they're taking it down. They have and it's a big metal garage with a metal frame, cement floor, and they used to, yellow cabs used to have buses for the tourists. And now the yellow cab is just a form of sale itself that is back in the 70s. And for a while, the other bus company used this big yellow building, and then it wasn't used a lot, and now they're taking it down. The lot behind it got cleaned up. So, if you could remember, Robert, these bottles, this picture, I'm not sure, Robert, you remember this, but it was one of the few brands that we don't often find, because as I say, it wasn't that a popular beer, but so unpopular. I think I found one can, and that probably was 1986 or something up in Dawson City. Yeah. As I say, I've just made over $6, but finding something from my bottling collecting past and remember the labels and so forth, and finding these things, and bring back memories, especially when you find that Uncle Ben's top. Uncle Ben's. Okay. UB. And now I remember. And it's on this. That's why there's this top and the blues top. Now, I cannot snap it back. I have to say, I have to find one with last frost and straight. So, yeah, this is a little history, for you people from the United States that probably are amazed now that, that's how old I collect. And I was, 7 years old when I started to collect these. 7, 8, countdowns in Mountain Town, around Whitehurst. I used to pick these up. So seeing that old stubby with this old label on, bring back my early years of bottle collecting. And because of that, these are going to be sitting myself. I don't know if anybody who asked my early years bottle collecting will show you them. Yeah, I'm drinking alcohol. I had some pomegranate night on. Just finished up the bottle. It always tastes good on a hot day with ice. That's why I'm a bit. But plenty of these old bottle tops, and hoping I will find one with a contest in it. And this one here, it's something. This had been sitting going on the building for years. This one I just peeled off. But it'd have to be that rusted for that to peel off. No, there's no contest piece, but it's going to be part of my video anyways, my next one. And last time I found one of these, it was ripping the house down. And in the brick driveway, there was lifting the bricks out, and there was one just like this, in the worst condition. That was like about almost 7 years ago. So these tops are very, very hard to find. You have to basically go down your parents' or grandparents' basement to probably say to find these with the old Coke bottles and Pepsi bottles. This is kind of like, for me, I'm going back in history here, to a history that, when I started, having a cup of alcohol after a long day kind of make you a little more higher than. And this was inside the building, in between the walls. So these must be in between the walls to survive with the label on this long. And yeah. I think this is a new one. I gotta see this. This is. Because you could tell, because they got a company name on this. Oculus. There's a little 8 link. I got that. So find a little 8 in here. Show you this the same age, unless this is a bring back one. I still got the silver edge around here. You could tell now they're painting all through it. There's the old one. Yeah, the Kaplan is matched. Oh yeah, this is the series. I could tell by just looking in the back. Oh, these all from the series. and they were trapped there. Oh God, they're so weak. Oh, you're gonna come out this week? Oh, good. Yeah, this one was in the corner for a long time, and that's how bad before I could not soak these in waters and things. Again, I have to soak them to tell you what's. But it looked like a beer one. I hope once they move more trees around that old building, I may find some more old ones, because one of the side of the building, that's where for a long time people were drinking. And there was a bar right beside it. And there was tons of bottle tops over the years. And it took it down because it was a part of a hotel and built this new parking lot plus buildings. And now we're beginning to see the old tops that was one corner. There's a whole bunch of them because they cleaned it up pretty good. Except for a few. So I may find some more old ones. Oh, hi, Bob. We're talking about old beer bottles today. Oh, but did anybody see Michelle's live stream? I was out clacking bottles. It's a nice day. I don't want to spend 2 hours sitting and listening to her trolls bugging her. So yeah, I didn't see a lot. So did I miss anything, guys? If you watched Michelle's video. Oh, I love this menu I found today. Yeah, it was fun. That's one thing about having this whole metal desk. I could do it. Okay, AAA batteries. Found this thing. I'm not really sure what the hell it is. Oh, that's why. Yeah. She's going to do a update to it. She always do that. See, this fancy man I found. One of those 1960s hippie guitars. I like that. Stick. Oh. Yeah, it's just like I have better things to do than watch her videos. And it's just like, again, I was with my Kiwi friends last night talking to them, so I missed her and Lumi's show. I was basically also cleaning up my drawers, the ones on my desk, and I was able to find a little bit of a joint and a milk in the bottle. I almost burnt the plastic container. Melted the plastic container when I put the hot butter and dope in it. So I'm glad I got a few of these I cleaned up. Let's see, use this one. This one's more easy to open. But, once again, it's a bit of Canadian history, a bit of my history of a bottle collector, I'm using, let me see, I started on 5 or 6, and when Dad and us used to say campgrounds and going around the golf course and collecting, cases. It started from there to today. So when you see old buddies like this, and some people got these things buddies back then, it's kind of, remember all these. And I begin to slowly remember Old Blue here. Slowly at Paul Bunyan, Paul Bunyan, because he also made Paul Bunyan beer. This is his side effects, Old Blue. It takes a long time to remember. But at first I'm going, Old Blue? Oh, good. Papa was always rude. I'm glad I missed another page. Yapping. I know Miss Hill, she thinks she's understand Pop, but Pop is a young kid with a big mouth. And that's telling Pop that he was on the side. He basically takes over the whole show and nags her. A kid nagging an older person, It's like, this is the other reason why I don't like Pop when he comes on the show, because he just, excuse me, let me finish what I'm talking about. Like, he thinks the whole show is for him. No. It's just like Pop should have his own, like, YouTube, because when this show invite him over, he thinks, oh, good, it's my program. And he doesn't, let anybody have time. And if you notice when I was on with Pop, I keep on telling the Pop to shut up, because he just keep on yapping. It's just like, he plays this video and this, and I'm like, Pop, we don't care, Pop. Pop is running out of time, Pop. But so one more minute, he turns on this video and like, no, Pop. It was Pop. Hi, Cassie. Cassie, Michelle wondered where you disappeared into. It just seemed. What's in here? Yeah, it's not the other thing I didn't like about Pop. What he's talking about is like another country. Yeah, I know that they are needing help and all of that, but please, it's different here. But no, Pop doesn't listen. And as I said, classy. Yeah, he is annoying. He's annoying with other boys. He's annoying as he tried to butt in and hug up the starlight. He's one of the people who love to hug up the starlight. So if you give him 5 minutes, he would talk forever, Cassie. It's just like, I'm glad. And this is why, one reason why I stopped being on her show, because of Pop. And it, for me, it's just like, he's an annoying little brat. Like well, everybody was wondering where you disappeared to. I guess because you didn't show up in the live programs lately or touch into anything. Oh, the pop. So let me give one of them. They go ding, ding, and it kind of take away from my concentration of when they pop up. That's my pop. Okay. Nice set of wordplay, yeah. Set myself up for that. So, As they take the rest of the walls down the old bus, I can't say, well, it was station. It more likely that's where they keep the old buses. When they took down the other wall and the doors, in the next week, and once they clean it up a bit, I may probably find some more old ones. That's what I'm talking about, Cassie. Canadian beer. I'm just showing Cassie here. And the title of it, because Cassie, because of this particular bottle top that used to be on my Batch Blue during the 70s. It says, smile, someone's watching. No you. There's no space for you. And that's why it doesn't have smile, someone's watching you, because there's no room for the bottle top. And you see nothing. This is like, if you ever watch Laughing, well, this is the style writing they use for the backdrops. You know, a hippie style of the 60s and the 70s writing to kind of make the beer more appealing to the hippies back then. But these, yeah, it's better to fix your auto problems now. This is the reason why I got a camera with a built-in mic. I work with my computer, so I don't have a mic. And, because sometimes, you found that out, Lewis, that sometimes the camera works, sometimes the mic works, but not all the time they want to join in for a program. I know you're new making these programs, and so far, I love watching your programs. But at least one thing, as I was saying, Cassie, I almost didn't make a video today until I found those two bottles. Because I know I can make a whole forced so and talk about my history with pop. And this is what Michelle should do, is find something around her life and talk about. Like old beer bottles. And the old tops and so forth. And once I find a pop top, there was a clear bottle there, but I think the label went, and I wasn't sure what it is, and didn't have any bubbles. Strangely enough, okay, here on the side, by the way, so these bottles are actually made in Canada. Some of them say Canada here on the side. And also they made by Dominion Glass Works. The logo here. So Dominion Glass Works, who also made telephone doohickeys for telephone wires. They comes to my mind after. Yeah, so this one here, shoot. Yeah, here you go. On the side, Canada. So, and that's also by Dominion Glass. It got a code on here. The new ones, they have it on the bottles and some of the old ones. But these ones from the 70s have it around the edge and the bottom. And these are from the 70s because the Canadian is 3 dots, Canada, 3 dots afterwards. So these are made in Canada. These are bought in Canada. They are made in Canada by Dominion Glasswork. They make insulator and many other different bottles over the time. and they are now no longer with us. But you could tell what cup of tea and where they are made around here. And it fits perfectly in your hand. And that's so yeah, thank you, Transformers. Thanks for the glass ones. And the main glass company for a long time made many jars and other bottles for Coke, Pepsi, and many other companies here in Canada. So you could tell in the bottom or on the side, like some pickle containers, they have all the information around here. And some of the pop companies have their bottling name on here, like where they come from, like on Toronto or something, in the bottom here. Like you probably would notice on some of the American ones with the ridge around here. In the series, they have a ridge. And then the information down here. This is how I could tell how old this is just by looking at the, not the, well, the front of the name and the logo, the number, very low number. And that's basically me. And besides, this glass, by the way, if I could see it, find it now, wasn't blown in one piece. Only with two. There's a line here. Goes all around the bottom here. So it's two pieces welded together. And these are not hand blown. These are machine made. Every single one of them. The older these are, if I get a really old one from, let's say, the early 60s, they won't have the line here that just made the bottle because they have made these in molds. It's the mold cast bottle. That's why you don't see it in the bubbles like the early Canadian one. You know, you could tell by the really old one, the turn of century and these, but how many bubbles. And this is basically the color of the bottle. It haven't changed. It haven't turned green like Coca-Cola bottles or any other color. This is what you get. A very dark brown glass. Yeah, that's one thing. Collecting cans doesn't do good on my nails. But I do wash my hands. Yes. Because I'm dealing with old bottles that probably have old antique germs from the 70s. But also these things have one nice outfit moment. I almost got it. They make good jug. You ever had people play on the jug, like on Hee Haw, jug band? I almost got it. You could use these old ones for musical instruments. Because the glass is thick enough, if you blow it just right, you get these things to whistle. And no matter how much beer you're in here, the people used to go, remember the old jug bands? Yeah. That's the other thing with these tubs are famous for, that you could actually turn them into musical instruments. The other good things back in the 70s when the glass cutting fad started, they used to cut these like this, and they take this and put it down here, ask for a beer global. Now, there's one particular beer bottle that was famous for that. But if you want to make your own, the glass cutting sets were big in the series to make your own. Take your beer bottles into your own glass. You cut with with the glass machine, the glass cutting, and you cut this, and then you get some glass, and you snap this perfectly. Hopefully, it doesn't break, and then you take it down here, and use this. This becomes here, and the top of like if we mention here, like a glass, and it sits like so. Some people put the tops back on, and you have this fancy goblet. And cutting bottles back in the 70s was a big thing. There's a particular bottle that I'm looking for, the Heineken bottle. The shape of it made for perfect homemade glasses from these glass cutting sets. Because what people used to do, they get the old Coca-Cola bottles like this, and they did the same thing. They cut it off and turn into the cups like this. This is a funky cup. But when the height of the glass cutting fed during the 70s, they cut it, they grind this so you could drink with it. And they with really strong glue at the time, they turned this into that. Now, they stopped making it, and every time I go to the secondhand shop, I hope I will find one of these antique, other than the long stress net bottles. That's the other thing that was popular back in the 70s that you do with pop bottles that, you heat it, stressing the neck and what's really cool and hippie-like. But the glass cutting, like stone bottling, was a big fad. There was kits everywhere. The problem is, you have to be perfect with cutting any type of glass. To make this into a glass cup takes patience, time, and a lot of luck to cut this, and then if there's no cracks, no nothing, then you get your sandpaper and spend hours sanding this down, and sand the other part so the glue could stick. And people was making sense. But when 1980 came, like the woodburning sets, it kind of went down here, and nobody do this. You probably get some of those old 1970s glass cutting kits from the second hand or something, even on eBay. But back then, some people think, I'm going to take this 12 case or 6-pack of beers and turn it into something that impress my friends. And some people are able to do it, and I do have glass cutting equipment with me because I always want to try. I have the long red glass one that you see in movies that cut around the holes so that break in and steal the diamond. I have those things. I have that little ones with pipes that you cut around pipes so you can break them. The pipe cutter, but also I have the glass one that you scold the glass, and hopefully we're breaking one piece. It's just like it probably takes 3 cases to make one taper set if you're just a beginner. But it's like back in the days, that was pretty popular, But like everything at Tire, you can still do it with some modern bottles with a long neck, but you also have to find a glass bottom like this so you can basically have a better stand. Oh, I wish we don't have this as an army anymore. they left town, and our shift shop only opened 2 days, Friday and Saturday. And I haven't seen a glass cutting kit, even in the old days of the Social Army here in Whitehurst, since the 90s. That's how old this Fed was. And I would talk about old fads where I grew up once I bring the rest of this stuff in. But it was a big thing, you know. If you were a kid, want to have their own fancy Coca-Cola glass, you can make your own. If you want your orange cross glass or Pepsi glass, you do the same thing. Back then, glass was made from glass. And with today's glass bottles, I'm not really sure they could stand the scoria of the glass make equipment, because if so, because it's very thin. This is thick. This is thick. Imagine someone hit your head with these. These things won't break on first hit unless you got a stone around or drop them. These are almost unbreakable. Almost. And as I say, they had the long ones. They stopped making it because, you know, in ball fights, you see the old-fashioned ball fights. You got good handling, but here, it's very weak. You could grab it. So this is the reason why in Canada, for at least for 25 years, they went for these stubby glasses. So they figure, because with a small handle, when they get to the moment, and some people who like to fight with beer bottles, it's a very weak point here, because you've got this here to hit someone over. And you hit not hard enough, it's just like a dams here. You don't have like a pop bottles. Pop bottles and it was great for fighting back then because you have a better grip on them. But in the 90s, they went back for the long neck, a medium neck, and then a longer neck, the Labatt Blue. And I'd like to find the 1981s with Labatts on here and so forth, a medium-sized neck. They had these tops on them for a long time. A callback from the 1970s. And then I went back to the good old 1900, 1910 long, classic long neck. I guess they figured people had stopped fighting with these things. The problem is, no, I don't have. Well, people don't fight with these like in the old days when you see TV shows. They're just knives and guns now. But in the classic ball fight, like you see, yeah, it's very thick one. They made it thick because they would use these things up to 50, and also remember, you have pressure. So you cannot have a thin glass for filling up something with pressure all the time. So the lifetime of these, they'd be reused. What did they do? They wash them, remove the label, because let's say you get a bunch of these and they went to motion beer. They will wash off the label, wash it, and reuse it, because you could tell this could be an old motion, this could be an old Labatt's bottle. You just, unless you know the number, in the old days they clean it, remove the label, fill it, put a new top on it, new labels, and send it out. Just like the old Coca-Cola bottles. Like, you know, we don't do that anymore. We still do it to beer bottles that use it more than once. As back then, the science of recycling these is get these, take them in, they clean it, wash it, they x-ray these for cracks, if they got cracks or something from the last time they sanded it. If not, they have to go to be crushed and recycled again. But if they pass the x-ray of these, they would be used. This is like today. And then they clean it up with soap and, just like, cleaning glasses, and back to it goes over and over again. I see some of them, go be used up to 5 to 7 times. And you see with the old marks here, the old marks, you probably can't see them. They go running down these chutes, and the labor machine put it out. And that's why if you see one of these bottles with a deep mark, you could tell how many times it's been through the labor machine. And these have been about 2 to 3 times. The ones that you see, really dark ones, they've been through the machine a lot. And we've been refilled a lot. But this one, Paisley is a brand new one. I don't really see the bottling marks on here when it rolls down to put the label on. Now, the record is 16 labels. That's what I found. And it wasn't a real case. Something they get stuck. Sometimes they got 2 labels on something. They got 3 labels because as they spin in the label machine, if no bottle push them onwards, you get up sometimes 2, 3 labels. That was a rarity, but since I deal with a lot of bottles in my youth, the record is 16. I wish I still have it, but I was soaking them up and counting like 16. I mean, it's just like what's spinning with that label machine. And I guess it got stuck. And I often do. That's why rarely you see a double layer. If you see a bottle, especially with 2 labels on it, and it got stuck in the label machine, and they have to push the bottles to the next one. But more I handle them, as you see, it's tin foil. And this is why these old ones, this one, particular one, is not going to be lasting long. And then it's a paper back. And some of these got numbers behind the label in here. This one here, so it didn't have a label. But sometimes they do have a number that count how much in the pack. And rarely they do put the date of bottling back them. Yeah, it's very cheap, but as I say, you have to get the right equipment. And back then, it was the in thing, cash. And this is probably way before your time. I don't know if you spend time in your youth looking at those magazines that, spending time in hobby shops like I do. But that's one of the many, and then, Cortez came around and kind of ruined that. But this is one of the things, but, and it's, as I say, this is the quality glass for today beer, they meant to be reused, bottle, clean out so many times. And playing these things, by accident, I have dropped these up at times. It's pretty difficult, unless you drop ones that have a hairline crack in them on the wooden sidewalks in Dawson City. And this is why these things survive. And this is why rarely I find them with chip. This is not screw. Cassie. This is how those modern screwballs he's trying to be This is what you need a church key for. The good old can opener. This is back when can openers, everybody carry a can. Everybody have a can. I have one on my key because I still find some brands of bottles still like the old-fashioned ones. They went back, I think it's in the 90s, to beer company in Canada, not in the United States, but in the 70s. Most of the beer, like Coke 45 and Olympia, have screw tops. And that's how I used to find American and Canadian beer back in the 70s. And back in the 70s, nobody took an American beer. But they have these amazing screw tops on them. I know you're older than me, but I don't think do you remember this when you started it? Because it was one of those things everybody had in there. Every store have at least a set to do this. I keep forgetting you're older than me by a few years. So you've been through the 70s like I did, but I remember it because it's one of those things that my parents bring in a hobby book because we are deeply in hobbies and this and that. And we see these things and we get these flyers from Woodwards and all that, and they had these things for Christmas. And this was one of the biggest Christmas things out of those annoying machines that polish the stones. My dad got into it. You never make money. But got to a point that kept us awake of the continuing stone world. My dad had it turn it on when we went to school. So when we got home in bedtime, he turned the machine off because it was making a noise. Nobody was getting no sleep. He never made money because he found out some stones take forever to be that polished, tumbling in the special stuff in this little machines. That's what's one of the other big things, like make money making your own stone studio. Polish the stone, gather an earring thing, glue it with top glue, and go to your local flea market and sell them. My dad thought it was a good idea. So back in 1973, 74 Christmas, he bought one of these things. I had one, but never used because the sound of stones getting polished and the squeaky of the machine, unless you just keep it in your garage. We didn't have a garage at the time. And that polishing overnight. So that's another of those hats. And some people take glass and chumper it to make earrings of this and that. And that's one of those hobbies that, the machine is something like this. It's a jar. You put your liquid in it, hard liquid. You put your stone in it. You put it in this machine with a belt drive, and it turns and turns and polishes stone at a certain speed. You remember these are things that are noisy. And because some stones, my dad found out, this before he became a miner and trying to put gold. It takes some stones. They give you the stones in the kit, but it takes forever you wait, and then you'll give up, go back to the hobby shop and get pre-polished stones like somewhere like Tommy, and they'll go home and get this super glue and you glue you in, so glue that little thing to the necklace and hope someone buy them from you. So many people give up on that. It's just like the glass. It's a pacing. and you'd be lucky. You have to find a stone that you know it would look good polished, especially wet. So, okay, that will look good polished. Yeah. And then you have to put some lacquer on it, and Tommy probably do with his shiny stone, and then you turn it into jewelry. And that's why when Tommy talks about his stones and how he polished, at least I know something from how noisy those machines would be. I'm not sure he polishes stones like some people. Hi, okay. Or get like great sandpaper. Some people do. You get good stone in. And that's where hand polished stone came from. It's not from one of those rolling machines, it's from one of those, light gray sandpaper cloth. And you just rubbing and rubbing and rubbing and get some moisture and then keep on rubbing and rubbing. That's probably what Tommy does with his stone. I never heard of the machine back in his background. So I'm not sure that he ever used the stone tumbling machines, because I'm not really sure how he don't really talk much about how he polished his stones. Much he talk about his stones, but he never really talk about how he's polished. So does he have the machine? Why we don't hear the machines in the background? Does he turns off the machine before he turn on his mic? If I had the machine, I did the same thing. Like yesterday, someone asked me why there was hammering. Well, someone was fixing something out in the hallway. Out in the alleyway, one of the two people in the building that was hammering back something after they cleaned it. That's why yesterday light program that was bang, bang, bang. It was Friday evening, and this is Sunday, so it's more quiet out there to make video. And the other reason I did turn off, I got a lot of drones out there, and they began swirling in the background, and I don't like that. I need the door open for fresh air. Yeah, because I got a balcony out there, so I could stand. One of these days, I'm going to a live video out there, or maybe take my laptop out there. I'm not really sure. But my biggest thing other than delivery, then, because I got a pet shop here that sells everything except for dogs. They stopped saying that. It's more like fish and reptile. And I got the bakery here, so I got delivery trucks coming. Propane trucks with this. And then I got the Mercedes setter, and they get food delivery. So that's what I don't really do videos during 11 or 12 or maybe 1. I'm trying to do it after all the bright traffic, because even with the door closed, you could hear, if you ever notice in some older videos before I came live, you hear the background. You have, during winter time, I had the door closed to keep warm, and I stay here. You probably pick up the odd people say, F you! This is why I am not trying to do videos around 11 o'clock our time. It's 4:53, so it's a long time before they come out. Because the government liquor stores kind of, they are open, but not for long. We got the local beer stuff. They open at the regular time to 2 p.m. in the morning, so they could drink anytime they want. The dope shops, one will close at 7 and one will close at 8, but all the liquor stores open until 2 p.m. in the morning, the off sale. So, and that's something, speaking of that, ever since we have the 2 dope shops opening here, I've got noticed there's no people hanging around here at those places. No, the beer shop over here during daytime, all the people was hanging around drinking beer on across the street over here. You know, they drink beer and they walk across the street and they get another 2 liters and they drink again. Even around the government liquor store, they in the parking lot they go where they could sit down and drink. But I got noticed in the 2 dope shops here, there's nobody hanging around smoking dope. Now, one of them is by a park, but I always see people drinking there. And it kind of got me wonder. I guess, people don't hang around dope shops here in Canada. They had to stay hanging around the beer shops. Up to 2 o'clock, I was sitting out in the street drinking and partying. Nobody, because it's okay to smoke, but it's in private, not in public. Until we have that, but it's not stop half the people, but I smell them drinking and smoking at the same time when I walk past some of these groups of street people. They don't care. But I don't see them hanging on the 2 dope shops here in Whitehorse. I still see them hanging around the beer shops, drinking close to the beer, hanging around asking for money, finding the cousin or friends a bag of money, or get them to buy beer so they could sit and drink. Even the government liquor store, it's the same thing. By the bars in the towns and the off sales. And they've been doing that for years. Now, the 2 new dope shops have been open, and I haven't seen that. I've seen one one shop, the guy was coming nearby, they throw away the box and keep the container inside of them in the pocket because it's better than came with these boxes around. These came in boxes too. They get rid of the box, they get the jars, and it's easier to keep. Same as the tube. So the guys outside one of them is these things in different sizes. And that's the only thing he's noticing. And Main Street, because it's so close to Main Street, you just find these boxes. And some people, I think what they do is get these, they got the little baggies, they grab the weed, they put them in the baggies, and then throw these out. They smell like dope. But that's how I find these things. And I find these things, once you wash out, clean them, they are good for putting either your butts in or make your own butter, because what I do, until I noted one of them yesterday, that you put your butter or oil, you cook it, and you put it in the fridge. Since most of this is childproof, making your own butter, all of these things that you get when you buy the expensive stuff, not the pre-rolled stuff I get. These are good, so the kids won't get the special butter. Yeah, special butter. And this is the only one because the outside of the cap is busted. But I find these things are great because then if I make special butter, I still have the warning singles on here. And that's good if you want to keep these things away from your kids. And do you want to make special brownies for your lover? Keep these, you put your butter, oil, whatever you do, whatever you cook your weed, put it in your fridge, lay in the back, and then when they're gone, you cook something for your lover, or you put them in your tea or something. And also, they keep. I don't get some people. They get these things. They put them in their little baggie because it's okay to carry the same amount. But these, I got noticed after a couple months of planting these. They say smell the day you bought them. You stay can smell the dope. I think if you keep dope, not in those baggies, but in these things, what they came in, they keep fresher because of the pressure lock. And that's the other thing when you make your hemp bottle, it's good because it keeps it fresh. You keep it with your kids. And they come in many different sizes. I think you hit the men well. That's what I've been finding out. That's a good use. Now I'm starting to build with these things. What I'm going to do, get enough of them, and then get saving an angle so I can keep my. Like some artists, they have these things to keep the pens in, nib pens, because they don't leak. So I get a whole bunch of these, and tape them together. That's a simple. Then I get a friend with a chop saw, cut them at the angle. So I have these on the angle with my fancy nib pens in it. So if they do leak, they won't leak everywhere. It's similar to some of my belt pens. This is why I've been collecting them. And I've forgotten enough of them to, I know they look like packaged fireworks. The first thing that comes to my mind, packaged fireworks. But if you get enough of these and you turn it into, something, and this is what, because you can see a lot more of these, this and black ones, and I'm beginning to, what can we do with these things? This is no plastic thing. You don't get any money back. And one of these days, some of these hippies going to figure out, like me, how should we use these in a way that, either use them for, special butter or special oil, or make them into something you could put little flowers, vases, or whatever you want to into these. So you could have them on my table. And I have my pens. I'm not worried about ink leaking on this floor, so my landlord keep me out. After I promised a few videos ago, but I'm going to find a way to use these because, these things are new in Canada. And a lot of people are throwing them out. And my goal for this year is to make something of these containers or do something. Really, the butter idea works really good. So don't throw these things out if you buy an expensive roll your own buds. This is a much better way to show people you're recycling these things. I know it's overdue plastic, but again, it's trying to keep the kids away from this. They have plain plastic peel, and then you pop these over, and as I show you the black one, they have the childproof lids. But even with these, I'll get enough of them and do the same thing. And have these all taped together. My friend, and chop them in the corner and get a wooden box and have them on my table with all my pens and the marks that I use a lot here on my messy table. Because, ever since dope here is legal in the government one, it's just like turning these into cups, I'm turning these into something else. So I hope in the future there would be a kit that someone want to make something out of these things. I don't know if we're ever going to make a hit or something, but it's just like showing people, yes, you can make something out of these, boxes and so forth. Well, I started. I cut the the UP symbols on for my next videos. That's why I was collecting them. So that part I did yesterday, and I got them in here, and I'm going to scan them. I'm going to make it into a video. I don't have many of them yet. But also I'm going to be peeling these labels off and use, especially on these things who have these really fancy new thing into one of my videos coming up. Because this is not your these new government ones, as you know, it's not your regular key symbol. You know, the regular ones is these. These new ones are more like a 3D rounded thing, so it gives you more information about the dope, the taxes, and everything, and keeping track over the ones that you've been growing up since the 70s on here. So ever since these came out, I'm interested to see how more 3D these things on. It takes the same scanner, I believe, but the information, even down here, you see with O's and things, this is new. Because in the back, in the old days, they just got this, and there's places on the web to tell you what these numbers actually mean, especially when they come to magazines. Well, since we got, this is a part of keeping kids safe, or no, this is real government stuff, not some fake person grabbing, stealing these and putting their own stuff in. It's not a proof that this is, because the same ones in these ones is on the box that you came in. But this one here, the long one, they have this scan with a scan, a long one with the long numbers you see up top here. And yeah. That's all that information to keep us so at this is government, other than the stamp on here and so forth. This is one of the ways you tell this is real government stuff, not the street stuff, because the street stuff don't have UPS codes on it. And that's the other thing about these bottles. They don't have UPS symbols even on the case. So, yeah. It's not really bad, but I went through a lot of history today. I covered a lot of things, part of my past and so forth. If Michelle could take something from herself, or something for her kitchen or something, and make a whole video of talking about, and have actually holding something like I do. As I said, I wasn't planning to do a video until I found these and these tops. I tripped back to my early years of collecting bottles, when I could make $1,600 in 3 weeks in bottles, because we were one of the few families that actually could turn $50 every 2 weeks in bottles, and special events $1,600. That's the biggest we ever, and that was in 1976. That's in family getting a big box around that. The last time we came close with $600 when we did Alaska Howard back in the 90s. And these, people were drinking everywhere, so these things was more easily to find. And now we have cans. The cans that basically replace the bottles. I'm glad, because cans get crushed, they don't break. We have a bicycle, when I used to have, I get more fast tire when I see glasses and try to roll the glass. It's so easy throwing out the window over than a plastic bottle. If I'm going to give a plastic bottle any credit, it doesn't break when you throw it over the car when those little bugs, same as an aluminum can or a tin can. You know, glass is one of the most dangerous things, other than nails, you would come to on your bicycle trips to get flat tires. This is why when they do this tour of fence, they make sure there's no glass inside the wood from this idiot who wants to throw the bottles out and try to be manly. And because of this, I'm glad that I'm collecting cans and plastic bottles, because I know if some idiot wanted to throw it outside the road, when it'd be one of the top guys, at least the cyclists won't get flat tires from plastic bottles. I know everybody putting on plastic bottles, but there is a few good thing for a good plastic bottle. Second is save bicycles tires. Save anybody that walks aside the road. Like happened for me once, getting a piece of glass through my shoe. Oh, when some people throw glass in the middle of the road, so cars don't get flat tires. I actually put a bottle by my dad's tire once, and he saw it, and bang, I'm mad at me because we have to use the rest of our money to buy a whole new bus tire. Today with cans, they just run them over. That's why you see the odd person put a can behind the tire of the bottle, is to see the pen back and see how flat the can get. Well, with these, no matter where you throw inside the road in the old days, they break, make chop pieces, especially on the street. You know, if you throw this and some kids step on it, it was dangerous during the 70s. And one thing about cans and plastic bottles, kids don't have to worry about stepping on glass if they can walk in the parks. And one of the biggest things growing up is running barefoot in some of these parks, because there was warning about you may step on glass. That's good. Stamp your phone, and you have to wear flip-flops all the time because some idiot break glass on the beautiful park and nobody's found it except for you and your feet. You know, sometimes you will have to give plastic a due, because it saves a lot of kids' feet in grassy parks, the same as pop bottles. You know, I know they are taking over the world, but at least, you know, it saved kids' feet in some of the wonderful parks we have here in the Yukon, you know. And kids love to go barefoot. And one of the forgotten scenes of the past is broken glass on some of these parks, because people go there and have party, break glass, and there you get, your kid got caught. Even if it's gravel, because, you know, gravel and glass, you cannot see the glass, especially if it's a clear pop bottle glass. So next time you drink your water bottle, and before you put it in your recycling bins, remember one good thing about the plastic and aluminum cans: it's saving people's tires, feet, and accident, because some people, when they get flat over the bottle, they can't control the cars and they crash. So in other words, in a strange way, plastic bottles is saving us, but they're killing the animals in the sea, because I found out 91% of all throwaway plastic is out there sitting in the ocean or on the ground, and nobody is recycling it. I'm trying to recycle plastic and to make it into something. Who knows? I'm going to make something that the hippies and the new generation will like. Are reusing these things, just like back in the old days, people turned these things into beer glasses. Very, very interesting thing if you think about it. You know, my mom said, if you don't have anything good to say about something bad, don't say it at all. But since I've been walking, you know, in some areas that people have been drinking tons of small broken glasses, I'm glad. I'm glad that cyclists today may bump into one broken pop bottle or something, because most of them on the side of the road is basically plastic bottles and tins. I know they're including, but at least it's saving our tires, because flat tires cost more money in the long run, or maybe at death, because we have those ladybugs out there. The ladybugs that I hate. Now, in the Bible, it says you cannot puppet with someone's problem, but they never thought of little bugs. Ladybugs stay the vein of everybody. I doing my best to recycle a lot of things, and you see, I am recycling a lot of things from my videos, the other videos. And that's, you know, turning these things into art. Like a lot of artists that turn things into art. But meanwhile, there's collectibles nowadays are like 40 years old, almost 50. This is almost probably 50 yards about that. And say find something that old with the label say on. You know, that's why some of the old Coke bottles used to have them painted on, because you look at the old Coke bottles, even today, because they've been reused a lot, and they figure out paint and logo and everything on here, so they could save money on trees. Yeah, a lot of trees got cut down for these labels. Even today, nobody's talking about the poor trees on those labels you see in your cans and powder. We talk about phone books and trees. We never talk about how much label it. You know, how much a tree make a label. How many labels of a tree. But if you look at the old Coke bottles back then with the painted words on it, because they've been washed over many times, so they don't have to worry. Cost money to relabel it all the time. Maybe I label with a contest, or this costs 10 cents now, like 1980, 80, 79, they used to have a little orders, and now 10 cents or a contest. But if you look at the old Coke bottles, even today's Coke bottles, because they reuse them a lot, this is the reason why. Because they've been washed just like these things, and they may touch up the paint job once in a while. Like, yeah, the Coke bottles I sold you, those one with the fruit flavor, those are what those type I grew up with. The only thing they replace a lot is these things. But the bottles keep on being reused. But if you think even back then, you know, now today bottles have plastic and rock around them. But in the back days, nobody thought how many trees these things wasted. The paper would come out before these things are crushed. You know, paper don't take long to disappear. You know, perfect place like this one. A label will stay forever if the glue keep it on. And slowly over time, if it's a tin foil one, it will appear like so. And sometimes you're able to with the whole label off. Because the glue they use was a water-based glue. And it's amazing how some of these labels last long. We found some ones in the 50s and the 70s that the label was perfectly. They've been in places for 10 to 20 years. These things have been just preserved, but probably been sitting between the walls since the 70s. No moisture, no nothing. And not since they are now open to some of these, to the ornaments, they begin to crumble. This is why I hate the tinfoil ones, because, as I say, the paper ones last a long time. And because of that, once in a while, I will find a perfectly labeled bottle from the 70s, but the label stayed there, no matter if it's a pop bottle or someone's using a container of jam from their nails, stayed there, not peeling off, looked like the day, maybe some browning of the paper for being on there for years, and it's just like the day you got that. These paper labels are very, if you treat them right, they last forever. Next time you see someone with a bunch of old bottles and they still got the original labels on them, now you know. So that's the history of Plasma Pals. If I find other brands of old bottles, I will talk about them and old bottle tops and continue this, because these things, I know billions of these are made and billions that keep on using them, but this is, we talk about people to recycle, but people have forgot that beer bottles, wine bottles have been recycling for since we invented these. That's why some inns back with Jesus' time, they saw something for the bottle. As long as you bring the bottle back, you get your money back or a free drink. Way back there. So recycling jars or bottles, even during the Dark Ages, they always a pub that brews their own beer always welcome, the customer to bring back the bottles, because remember the old days when you go to a gasoline station, you buy your pop and they finish your pop and it's wax outside you put your bottles in? Well, that's how it started. Back in the day, you could take your beer home, but if you want more, you bring your beer bottles back, get a fresh one, you pay for it. And that's how the ancient beer bottle recycling started. Because back in the Middle Ages and even the 17th, 18th century, it cost money to bottle things. They were glad to rewash them and we bottled them like big wineries back in time. You may get a 1700 wine bottle, but how many times have been used? You don't know. The wineries know. But think about it. Glass bottles have been saving us a lot. Even today, I know they easily broke or something, but it doesn't take much to ship them back, clean them, fill them, and bring them back. This is why I like the modern beer companies, because they stay doing it. This is why they ship them back. If they are dented, they will break them and use it for flavorful sandbags here. But remember, your grandfather beer had been recycled more times than you think. And that's a long time recyclable person. I know the history. This was back in the 70s. The government was controlling. You take these back to a place in the industrial area to get your money back. There was a few other places that they work with the government to get the bottles back, because people here stay one, we got government, beer stores, and they got their nose into this. So they go back, they get clean, they come back. And it's a wonderful thing. The problem with plastic and tin, you can't do it, especially with a tin can, because once you open it, you can't see it. Pop bottles, yeah, but how many people want to clean a pop bottle, plastic pop bottles? Over and over and over. This is why a lot of places, they have glass and everything. That's why they freeze the mugs over and over again. So they save water with ice cubes. And this is why, if you go a restaurant that use glass places, it's actually more cleaner than you go to McDonald's. Because McDonald's, you have to throw everything out. I know everything is recyclable now at McDonald's, but back in the 70s and 80s, when everything is in cell phone, that was a different thing. Now they become green. Now I don't mind to throw a McDonald's cup, because they only have thin plastic inside so the cups don't bleed into the plastic. I remember those cups that full of wax, and you get one piece of wax in it. It was awful. I'm glad now that they even put a thin piece of plastic so you could enjoy your pop or your coffee, without standing, because in the 70s, their cell phone was a big thing. People was complaining and said, bring your own coffee cup, bring a paper coffee cup. And just trying to get people back in the 70s to stop using cell phone cups. You may find the odd restaurants that use cell phone cups to get coffee, especially on long tour, or the odd fast food place, or the odd those foodie trailers, things they may use the plastic container, but most of them will use pressed paper, like those egg cartons. Those egg cartons, those 24, 36 ones, always been pressed recycled paper. Now they're making food containers like that. Far away from the 70s and the styrofoam and doomsday people telling us it's going to ruin the planet. Well, we got smart. Now, not many people give that a credit. Well, for someone who seen the rise and the fall of the cell phone cup container, and there were some people still using it, and same as, plastic plates. At least you could use plastic plates once a time, and that's, a few times. When you put hot food on the styrofoam plate, it melts right through. But that's why I like paper plates when I go camping or someone barbecue. It doesn't, it may get smuggy, but at least it's recyclable paper you put in your garden. That right there tells you a lot. How we came from 1950s when things are like that. And then people say we could do more. And yes, we could. Just remember your grandfather taking these things every time. And, me at 7 years old, 7, 8 years old, collecting these and to make some money to help the family. I've seen in the early 80s that if I collect enough and Mom gave me a couple of dollars, I could buy that new Xbox card that I wanted. I've seen the opportunity. If I collect enough, me and my brother, my Mom, we could use it between paydays, like I do now, but we get rewarded with things, chocolate, or a trip to Dairy Queen, or a hamburger, or a Matchbox toy or something, because we clock enough dollars, made enough money at times when we was low and cannot afford between paychecks. We used to get $50 worth of these things and be able to continue. And I always get something from it. Everybody in the family who was able to collect bottles back then. So for me, it was better than throwing newspapers. It was, and I was helping the environment. That and grabbing letters with stamps because I'm a stamp collector. And I learned from the early age that these things worth money. Even now, with this particular one, I probably get like $2 or $3 for it on eBay. Far cry for the dime or the nickel penny, what you are. For this, $2 or $3 with a perfect label, a brand that nobody heard. If I could market this correctly on eBay, I make more money. Of something we used to throw away back in the 70s. And that happened a couple of times when I took a couple of bottles in some of these places to, sell it for like $2 or $3 more than what it basically cost to turn in at the time. There's bottle collectors out there who want these bottles. And they, $5 and up. That's a mark from a nickel or dime. And that's the thing. This is must better return now. Okay, I will be over there soon. It's just like, this is an intimate part. I better go over and watch the cows with Sensor. So I'm going to end this, and it's 101. I got one like, no dislike. So there you go, folks. I better go over and watch the cows. And I probably said enough. I got pretty good mileage, so just 2 beer bottles. And a part of my bottle collecting history. Not bad, bunch of old bottle tops, and it says 2 bottles. Now, if Miss Hill could do the same thing,